Ever get stuck on a coding problem and wish you had someone to bounce ideas off of? Someone who could not only spot the error, but could actually show you how to fix it.
Yeah, like having a super-powered coding buddy,
Right.
right?
And what's even cooler, what if this buddy was an AI? Well, that's the idea behind OpenAI's Canvas. We're going to dive deep into that today, see if it lives up to the hype.
It's a fascinating concept for sure.
We've got this article here. It's all about Canvas and how it's kind of changing the game for AI-assisted coding. So it's
Yeah.
not just your typical code completion tool, right? This is
Yeah.
next level stuff.
Yeah, it's way more interactive, way more collaborative. You're not just getting code suggestions. You're actually working with the AI back and forth in real time to build something.
So it's less about AI whispering code in your ear and more about actually teaming up with it, like you said.
Exactly. Imagine starting a project and just telling Canvas, okay, build me a resource management game. And it actually starts generating the foundational code for that game.
Whoa, hold on. Let's break that down a bit. The article uses this example of adding resource management features to a game. So what's the big deal about that?
Well, think about how much code goes into managing resources in a game, right?
Yeah.
Every interaction, every little detail. With Canvas, you could theoretically just tell it something like, my villagers need to gather wood, but they can only carry so much at a time.
And Canvas would know what to do with that.
That's the idea. The
Yeah.
article says that Canvas uses this really deep understanding of coding principles and game mechanics to generate functional code directly from your instructions. It even mentions things like granaries, sheds, and foundries.
Those are weirdly specific examples.
I know, right? But that's what's so cool about it. It's like Canvas understands the nuances of what you're trying to build, not just spitting out generic code.
So what happens if I want to change something? Say, I want my villagers to carry more wood.
Good question. Normally you'd have to dig through your code, right? Find the right lines, hope you don't break anything.
Yeah, sounds fun.
With Canvas, you can just make the change on the fly, adjust a value, rename something, whatever, and the code updates in real time.
Okay, that's impressive. But the article did mention that Canvas is still in beta, right?
Hmm?
So should we temper our excitement?
It's early days for sure, but the potential is definitely there. Even in beta, it's clear that Canvas represents a huge leap forward in AI-assisted coding, and the implications go way beyond game development.
Is that where this whole AI operating system thing comes in?
Yeah.
Because honestly, that sounds a little wild.
I know, right? But think about it. Right now, we use separate apps for everything. Writing, coding, design. What if there was one central hub? And what if that hub was AI-powered?
Okay, I see what you're getting at. So instead of juggling all these programs, you have Canvas or something like it, managing everything in the background.
Exactly. You just tell your AI operating system what you want to accomplish, and it helps you navigate all the complexities, using whatever tools are best suited for the task.
So in the future, instead of telling Canvas to up my villagers' wood capacity, I could theoretically just tell it, I need to finish this presentation, and I also need to order groceries.
And your AI operating system would help you do it all. That's the ultimate goal anyway.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second. We've talked about how Canvas can revolutionize how we code, but the article also says it could democratize it. What does that even mean?
Well, right now, coding is seen as this specialized skill. Not everyone has the time or resources to learn these complex languages. Canvas could change that, making coding more intuitive and accessible to everyone.
So instead of needing a computer science degree, you could just tell Canvas what you want to build, and it would help you do it.
Exactly. Artists, educators, small business owners, anyone could potentially build websites, apps, whatever they can dream up.
That's huge. We're talking about fundamentally changing who gets to create with technology.
And that has massive implications, not just for the tech industry, but for society as a whole.
Okay, now you've got me really thinking. But we're going to need a minute to process all of this. We'll be right back to explore those implications and more about the future of AI-assisted creation. We're back and ready to jump back into this whole AI-assisted coding thing. Before the break, we were talking about how Canvas could democratize coding, making it accessible to a much wider range of people. Sounds awesome in theory, but I imagine it also raises some, well, concerns.
Definitely. Anytime you have a new technology that has the potential to, disrupt the status quo, there are going to be anxieties.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing job security is probably a big one, right? If AI can code, do we even need human programmers?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I don't think there's an easy answer. We've seen throughout history that when technology advances, the job market shifts. Some jobs do get automated, yeah, but new ones are created too.
So it's less about AI replacing humans And more about AI changing the types of jobs humans will do.
Exactly. Think about the transition from horse-drawn carriages to cars. It wasn't just about replacing horses with engines. It was about creating a whole new industry, new jobs, new skills, new opportunities.
Okay, that's a helpful way to look at it. So maybe instead of panicking about robots taking all the coding jobs, we should be asking ourselves, what new doors might this open?
Right. And let's go back to this whole democratizing coding thing. Right now, there's this huge demand for skilled programmers, but not everyone can, dedicate years to learning these super specialized skills. Canvas could help bridge that gap. People from all backgrounds could potentially contribute to the tech world.
It's like everyone gets a shot, regardless of whether they have a fancy computer science degree.
Exactly. And that means more creativity, more innovation, right. Imagine artists, educators, small business owners, people who wouldn't normally think of themselves as coders, building their own websites, developing apps, you name it.
It's like the Renaissance, but with AI-powered paintbrushes, basically.
Right. But here's the thing. Even if everyone is coding in the future, there will always be things that require that human touch, things AI just can't replicate.
Okay, good. You're going to have to give me some hope here. Like, what can humans do that AI can't?
Well, take the creative arts, for example. AI can generate music, write poetry, even paint. But can it truly capture the raw emotion, the originality, the audacity of human expression? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, as much as I'd love an AI to write my emails, I'm not quite ready to hand over my, creative license just yet.
Exactly. And I think that's an important point. This isn't about replacing human capabilities. It's about, augmenting them, making us even better at what we do.
So less man versus machine and more man with machine, like a partnership.
Exactly. We can let AI handle the tedious stuff, the repetitive tasks. And then we, as humans, can focus on the things we excel at. The creativity, the problem solving, the pushing boundaries.
I like it. But, with great power and all that, right?
Yeah,
There's always another side to the coin.
for sure. And as we keep going deeper into this AI-assisted world, we have to consider the ethical implications. That's crucial.
Like, what if AI gets too good at this? What then?
That's one concern. But there are others too. Who gets to control these tools? How do we make sure bias doesn't seep into the algorithms? These are questions we really need to grapple with.
It's bigger than just making coding easier, isn't it? It's about rethinking our relationship with technology as a whole.
Absolutely. It's about navigating the ethical complexities of a world where AI plays an increasingly prominent role and making sure we use these powerful new tools responsibly, ethically, for the betterment of humanity.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
You're telling me. But it's a conversation we need to be having.
Okay, so we've talked about OpenAI's Kansas,
Yep.
right? And how it can, make coding easier, more accessible. But we've also touched on some of the bigger questions it brings up about the future of, everything.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of AI, right? Thinking about this future where anyone can build anything.
Right, but where do we go from here? What should our listeners, especially those who are like, whoa, AI coding, what should they take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is informed curiosity. That's the key. These AI tools are really pushing the boundaries, right? And not just of tech, but of what we're capable of as humans.
You've said potential a lot today. Potential of AI, human potential. Seems like that's the common thread.
Yeah. Because that's really what it comes down to. It's not about automating things away. It's about, like you said, our potential. AI can help us explore that potential in ways we haven't even imagined.
Okay, so it's less about AI taking over and more about figuring out how we can use it, shape it, to actually do some good.
Exactly. We have a choice to make, right? Are we going to sit back and just let it happen? Or are we going to engage with it, guide it in a way that benefits everyone?
Yeah, those are some big questions.
For sure. But these conversations about AI and ethics, they're crucial. If we want to use this technology responsibly, we got to be having them, and we got to be having them now.
So it's a call to action for our listeners. Don't just listen to this and be like, oh, cool, AI coding, and then move on.
Right. Stay informed, stay engaged, because this stuff, it's going to impact all of us.
Well said. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of AI-assisted coding. And who knows what the future holds, right? But one thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting. Thanks for joining us.